Welcome to this Windows channel, and this is the weekend edition of the tech news for December 3 and 4, 2016. And of course, this weekend edition is a look back at one of the news items of each day of the week into a little more detail. So, first news item is about artificial intelligence. On Monday, I was talking about a lot of researchers being kind of scared at artificial intelligence when it goes the way of security. And the reason why they are scared is very simple. They say that attacking a regular, network of computers is one thing because, you spread malware and you spread all sorts of bad things. But if you inject malware that changes the code of artificial intelligence, it's got a lot more problems because artificial intelligence is meant to eventually be able to think by itself and do things by itself. So one of the examples that was given is say you get a malware that reprograms a good bot that basically has artificial intelligence to help humans, and that malware will reprogram it to, say, harm humans. And that is a really real possibility. And that is why, the army is working, of course, on robots that kill, that can really, think on their own. It's something that they want to have because, hey, instead of sending soldiers that get killed on the field or in different missions, one of the things the army wants is robots that will do the same thing. So instead of human lives, we will have robots that will be basically deactivated. Killed is not necessarily the perfect word for a robot, but they say these robots that are already meant for war, for example, reprogrammed, can turn against us. And even good robots that are meant to help us could turn against us. So, it's a very, very complex issue here because a lot of people and even researchers are saying, we're not that far from Terminator. What prevents a robot, from killing us all? They do say, well, programs will be put in place so that they cannot really do it and be bad and kill humans, or yeah, but all of that can be reprogrammed, and it's a little scary. That side where robots take over and decide is scary. Well, we still have control of all of that in the future. It's you know, just think about it. It's something. It's a possibility. On Tuesday, we had a news item about the iPhone 10th anniversary next year, and that's got a lot of speculation going on. Now, more and more, many analysts are saying, oh, they're holding back on the iPhone. This year, rather big disappointment that the iPhone didn't really have anything or really nothing much new to offer. And people thought, well, it might actually have more to offer. But a lot of analysts said, well, you know what? They're just giving us something for this year because they have to. They don't want to sell more iPhones. But they're keeping all the new stuff for the 10th anniversary next year. And when you think about it, there's some logic behind this. I think maybe Apple wants to really, really do some amazing phone next year that everybody's going to do wow when they look at it. And so speculations are going on of all sorts of things. No more home button on the bottom. Screen that would be almost the entire surface with almost no bezel around it. There's also different types of screen, and including OLED, which is a much better technology. curved screens. There's even talk of more iPhones than now. So, for example, not only say the iPhone 8, but an iPhone, a special iPhone. There will be different little things. So, speculation, of course, because Apple is very secretive of what exactly there will be. But, you know, as we go more and more towards 2017, I think speculations will really be going strong on this. And, it's a time where Apple needs to actually do something also because iPhone market share is, slowly dropping. We've seen that iOS now has 14.3% market share this week. I mean, that is down. And Android is really getting more and more dominant. So we are at a moment where Apple needs to do something to revive its iPhone line in a way that people are going to say, wow, that's what I want. So we'll see what happens in 2017. Well, on Wednesday we talked about the Mirai malware that infects routers and modems. Now this is scary because for a long time, viruses and malware only infected PCs and computers of all sorts, but they did not really infect Internet of Thing devices. They did not really infect modems or routers. The only thing they would do to routers is change settings. But now there's actually a malware that can reside in your modem or in your router that will actually be doing bad stuff on the internet. And the danger and what I don't like about this is that, when your PC is infected, there are ways of detecting that. And, this week when in Germany, Deutsche Telekom had, people saying, hey, I got internet problems. Now, what's interesting with that is that at least the malware is written in a way that it's not perfect and it caused issues. So people noticed something was wrong, and Deutsche Telekom rapidly said, okay, wait a minute, there's something wrong here. But in a future version where it's going to be written really well, where it won't impact your internet connection, um, I don't know. But what's scary is that now you can be part of a botnet and not know about it at all. And especially if, it's a modem or a router that comes from the internet service provider. That means we have to rely on the internet service provider to update all of that so that we know that we're safe. And I don't know about you, but when it comes to security, I rather have security and take security into my own hands than hoping that a company somewhere will update the firmware of my devices. That's not counting routers that people buy pre-programmed, um, and the majority of people have absolutely no idea. And when I say absolutely, I mean really absolutely no idea how to handle and change something or update firmware on a router. So we need not only to have um, devices that are going to be immune to this, but if they aren't, they need to auto update by the manufacturer somehow to fix issues, because don't ask people to update their routers. They have no idea how to do this. So it's kind of scary. It's now a new area where attacks will come from our little devices that we have no idea that are infected because we have no way of knowing. I don't know. This is a new era in malware and viruses. Oh, well, people start, are not like before. They now are able to easily detect that viruses are on PCs. Let's infect something else, basically. Then we have on Thursday, browser wars. On Thursday, there was, of course, the numbers for the browsers and the internet browsers used. And we see that Chrome is really, really going far ahead in dominance of its market at 55.8% or something like that. Pretty amazing. I mean, Chrome is moving ahead at a very fast pace, and nothing's there to actually really slow it down. What's amazing about Chrome going ahead also is the fact that Chrome, of all the browsers, has several flaws, including runaway memory usage, and sometimes it slows down their PC and the browser itself. So it's funny because it's not the best browser necessarily that's moving ahead. So it shows that it's very interesting how a browser moves ahead, and I put part of it in the fact that Google has been very, very aggressive with its Chrome browser. And people were going crazy over, oh wow, Microsoft Edge. There's an ad for Microsoft Edge everywhere I go when I use another browser. I'm sorry, but there's an ad for Google Chrome every time I use Edge in the accounts, the Gmail accounts, and my Google accounts. So apart from that, after there's like it's been going like that for years now. Internet Explorer and Edge are moving down, accounting for about 26%. When you think about it, Internet Explorer once had more than 65% of the market share, which was amazing, just because it came with Windows. And it's funny to see that, at the beginning, Internet Explorer won its market share by just being there and people saying, well, I don't need a browser because I have one. I don't need something else. Now people are more, oh yeah, I don't want that one. I want something, well, I really want something else. What's also interesting in here is that they have to put the numbers of Microsoft Edge and Internet Explorer together because they have the Microsoft Edge just is not taking off at all. People are not using Edge in Windows 10. So that's another problem I think for Microsoft. And finally, Firefox slowly gaining. Firefox was at once the one of the king of browsers, and it's scary that they've gone down a lot. But I gotta say, Firefox had a lot of crappy versions of its browser. I'm sorry, but there were many versions of Firefox that were bad. And now it's getting back to normal. It's getting better, but is it better to enough to make it better? I don't know. And finally, Friday, we talked about market share for Windows, and that one surprised a lot of people. Windows 10, since the free upgrade is over, pretty much everybody was saying, well, now it's going to stay stagnant. It's just not going to move really a lot. And we're going to get stuck at a very slow growth of Windows 10. Of course, a little bit of news about people saying, well, Windows 10 isn't great or isn't good with the anniversary update and so on. There's a lot of negative that also showed up here. And so when the numbers came out for November and we saw that Windows 10 actually increased by 1.12%, that actually is a very good news for Microsoft because that means it's growing faster than even most analysts thought. And one thing for sure, this is not because of people upgrading their computers. Nobody's upgrading their computer to Windows 10 after the free upgrade is over. I mean, the number of people that actually buy a copy of Windows 10 or Windows in general for any version is very, very low. And it's got to be that Windows 10 increase is due to new computers that have been bought. And that's what most people think, new computers being bought. And that also brings a nice and interesting new idea here is that after years of PC sale declines, to have such a number in Windows 10 in November means maybe actually somebody is buying PCs now, and that the PC market is, if not, gaining, at least the drop in sales has pretty much stalled, and meaning that we're now in a way where maybe we're going to start having a little more PCs. If you think about the fact that there's a lot of PCs that are getting old out there because of Windows 10, first of all, that can install in such a wide range of computers, it is nice to see that maybe there's a turnaround. Maybe people are like, okay, I think I need a new PC, especially since the fact that we see that tablet sales are really, really going down. Most people are now not even looking at tablets anymore for when they want to change their devices. So I think that's good news. The bad news maybe that there is in here with Microsoft is the fact that Windows 7 is holding very strong to its market share. Yes, it's been down 1%, but it's still 47% of all the Windows operating systems out there. That means that one person out of two is actually using Windows 7 right now. So it's still something that's really holding on, and Microsoft really, really wants people to move out of Windows 7 at some point. So interesting numbers here. So this was the tech news for the weekend of December 3rd and 4th, where we take a look at news from this week. If you enjoy our videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up, and hey, if you have your own, um, maybe your own comments, your own observations of one of the news items or that we have in this weekend edition, uh, please leave your comments below. It's fun to have your feedback. And of course, always in a polite manner, please. Thank you so much for watching and have a great weekend.